Hey, what's up, guys? Peanut Butter 25 here, bringing you the finale, part 4 of my In Reflection of 2015 series. And this is what's to come, because we like to prepare things in my family quite a while before that time, and we already have quite a few things planned for 2016, and it's gonna be fun. I got a good year lined up for me. The parks I may, or except for the one, potentially, well, basically, I'll go over them in detail. Number 1, Six Flags Great America. I renewed my season pass 2 weeks prior to this video being recorded and most likely uploaded, and it's basically a guarantee. It's my home park. I visit there more than once in the summer. It's just a guarantee that I'll go there. Number 2 is Busch Gardens, Tampa. My family will be staying in the Tampa Bay area in August, and Busch Gardens, Tampa is only half an hour away from our destination. Therefore, we're probably going to reserve an afternoon and go to Busch Gardens, Tampa, which that'll be fun. And number 3 is Carowinds. We're probably going to stop there on the way to Florida, because we have to be in Tampa by midweek, so we're probably going to be leaving like the weekend, and then by early week we're going to be at Carowinds, spend a day there, then get to Tampa Bay. And it's going to be fun. Carowinds, Fury 325. I have a feeling it's going to surpass Millennium Force and Iron Rattler for the best coaster ever. I mean, it really is the best. And then 4, 5, and 6 are all floater parks. They are parks that we can only afford to go to one, and we can only go to one, and we're deciding which one, but I put all 3 of these as an option because it varies by our funds, our interests, and our final decision. The one I'd most like to go to is Cedar Point, due to all the hype surrounding Valorvin. I haven't completed my coaster credit collection there. I haven't ridden 5 coasters as in 2016 season at Cedar Point: Mean Streak, Cedar Creek Mine Ride, Top Thrill Dragster, and Wicked Twister, because I did not like launch coasters prior to June 2015, which I last went to Cedar Point in May of 2015. And also Valorvin's going to be my 5th credit for that park. Our next priority will be Holiday World, Thunderbird and Voyage, and the Wildebeest and Mammoth is all going to make the trip worthwhile. It's about a 4-hour drive from here, and it's going to be fun. I mean, I've always wanted to go there as a child. Now that I know they serve free Pepsi, it's like, I have to go there now. Free Pepsi? I mean, just, yeah. Number 6 is Mount Olympus. It's basically, we can get there on 1 tank of gas. It's kind of our desolate. If we're getting relatively bankrupt, or if we have other things that are expensive being planned, it's like, we're probably going to resort to Mount Olympus. But still, Hades 360, Poseidon's Rage, it's going to be fun. I mean, a lot of CCIs with the Star Gravity Group, Woody. It's going to be fun, but I'd much rather go to Cedar Point or Holiday World. And then number 7 and 8 are on the way parks. We discovered these parks are both on the way from our place of residence, to Carowinds, because our August trip's shaping up to be here to Carowinds, Carowinds to Tampa Bay, and then Tampa Bay back home. And from here to Carowinds, Kentucky Kingdom and Dollywood are both on the way. However, I feel like Kentucky Kingdom is more of a likelihood because of the fact that it's probably a closer midpoint and it's more direct on the route, because literally we're going to be passing it. We can see Kentucky Kingdom and T3 in all its glory when we're on our way there. So we can just book a hotel in Louisville, and we can just spend a morning at Kentucky Kingdom and just go to Carowinds. But I'd much rather go to Dollywood. I mean, this on-the-way park was an idea that just hatched a few days ago, but it's still a very likely possibility. And I want, and I feel like I need to get on Lightning Rod, and I need to get on to Wild Eagle, Fire Chaser Express, Thunderhead, and all those glorious rides at Dollywood. It's going to be absolutely amazing if I get to there. Even though it's much further midpoint. It's basically a 9-hour, 3-hour split, which I feel like we could reserve a morning for Dollywood, and then take the afternoon to get to Charlotte. Still a possibility. But next, we're gonna reflect on which I feel like could be the potential top runners and bottom runners for each park. I've separated it into Busch Gardens Tampa, Carowinds, Cedar on the Florida parks, and the On the Way parks. My top potential rides, best rides at Carowinds. I mean, who won't put Fury 325 in their top? I mean, seriously, a B&M Giga. The only Giga I've ever been on is Millennium Force because that's the closest one to me, and it's just this thing is going to be so much fun. If I get on Fury, it's gonna pretty much guarantee be my number one. Number two is Intimidator. It's one of the more well-built B&M hypers. The newer ones got a strong layout, lots of airtime, lots of bank turns. And it's going to be pretty fun if I get Intimidator, even though it's completely overshadowed now by Fury. And the number three is Afterburn. I heard lots of positive reviews about this coaster here. It's one of two inverts that feature a Batwing. It's definitely one of the best in the Southeast. I mean, it's Afterburn. It roars across the park like a jet plane. How can it not be good? My potential best rides at BGT. I know you wanted me to jump to my worst, but I'm going to cover that separately. I feel like Montu will be the front runner for BGT. It's got the most inversions on a B&M invert until Banshee tied it. And it's very strong. Batwings, loops, and Immelrins, dive loops, zero-G rolls everywhere. So compact. And it's going to be lots of fun going on Montu. It really is. Number two, SheiKra. If I don't go on Valravn, then it's going to be SheiKra for my first dive coaster. And this one's practically a guaranteed. SheiKra is a very strong dive coaster. It's not as tall, but it has the 5-second stall. It has 2 drops and 2 Immelmans and a splashdown. It's definitely got quite a few elements, but I'd love to get on Valravn over SheiKra. Number 3 is Cheetah Hunt. Who cannot? This is one of the more underdogs. I mean, it's a very fun family coaster. I mean, it's borderline thrill, borderline family, but I still got to get on it anyway. I've heard lots of positive reviews. It's such a long ride. It's got that one very slow inversion. It's got 3 launches. It's going to be really fun. Now we're going to get on to the potential worst. And I can only think of 2. I mean, the third one could have been Hurler, but I got the one between King's Dominion and Carowinds confused. I think it's King's Dominion is the one that sucks. But I really found that the Carolina Cyclone and the Carolina Gold Rusher are not going to be the strongest rides. We have a custom looper, the first coaster ever to have 4 inversions, and an aerodynamics mine train with a 1/10 mile stretch of straight track before it curve drops. And it's like, these coasters are not going to be very strong. They're probably going to rank towards my bottom, definitely my bottom half, and maybe even some in my bottom 20. And it definitely takes quite a bit to be in my bottom 20. I don't see these getting in my absolute worst, though, unlike some you'll see later on. Potential worst at BGT. BGT is a very strong lineup, but I put the more family-oriented coasters here. Sand Serpent, a Wild Mouse, it's probably going to go, depending on its strength. I mean, Wild Mouse at Hershey Park's already about in the 50 place range out of like 70. And it's just, if it's going to be better than Wild Mouse, it'll be one place over it. But if it's going to be worse than Wild Mouse, in my opinion, at Hershey Park, it's going to be one spot lower. But they're practically going to be the same experience. And Scorpion, I'm not a huge fan of Schwarzkopf loopers. I'll say that bluntly. I wasn't a huge fan of Mindbender. I liked Super Duper Looper, but it had the one vertical loop right after the drop. But this one, I feel like it's going to be kind of some jerky transitions. Because it's a spaghetti bowl-like thing. It's got a lot of track winding around itself, and I don't see it being the strongest ride at BGT. Potential best coasters at floater parks, which include Cedar Point, Holiday World, and Mount Olympus. I put TTD, Top Thrill Dragster, at the top because it's the first strata coaster, if you don't count Superman Escape from Krypton as the first one. It's the first complete circuit Stratocoaster, and I've not been on it. I love launches. It's really got me my adrenaline pumping, and I cannot wait to tackle one of the fastest coasters in the nation. It's gonna be insane. Let's just hope it doesn't break down while I'm over there. Thunderbird, number 2, best wing coaster in existence according to a lot of people. And it's been installed in 2015. It's gonna be a great ride. 3, Valravn. I feel like that this one is going to be really strong as well. It's definitely one of the strongest dive coasters in North America. I'll give it that. I mean, no, there are some pretty strong ones in Europe, like Baron. But this one's going to be pretty awesome. A dive loop and a 0G roll on a dive coaster. You don't see that. I don't think that it has any of those in North America. Number 3, Voyage. One of the strongest wooden coasters in the nation. Gravity Group, and this one, when I was watching TV on Travel Channel when I was a child, it says this one came up all the time for one of the best wooden coasters in the nation. Mind you, that was 5+ years ago, maybe even probably like 7 or 8 years ago when this thing was new and all the rage. But this one is still gonna be fun nonetheless. Now I just have to get on El Toro. And then 5, Hades 360. I've been on the original Hades. I wasn't a huge fan, but now that they got rid of the PTC trains and they put Timberliners on it and threw a barrel roll and an overbank turn on it, it's gonna be pretty fun. Potential worst coasters at Florida parks. If you know Cedar Point, the worst coaster there in all of definitions is Mean Streak. Let's just say Mean Streak sucks. I'll put that bluntly. I remember my brother went on it a couple years back, and basically they were waiting, and the operators were just waiting to operate a coaster in an empty line with open arms. It's like, hey, welcome to Mean Streak. They were so nice hospitality according to him, because the line was so empty. They needed people to ride it. It's kind of sad, but it kind of deserves it, because Mean Streak is not a strong coaster at all. Number 2 is Cyclops and Pegasus. Both CCI coasters, one of the first ones built by CCI when they were first established, both at Mount Olympus. And this, I think I've been on Cyclops before, and I wasn't a huge fan. And I'm pretty sure nothing's really changed other than its age. And maybe even the condition. I really don't think these coasters are going to be too enjoyable. Cedar Creek Mine Ride comes in at number 3. Mine trains aren't exactly going to be everyone's top favorite. And then number 4 is Zeus, the second largest coaster, but the largest CCI at Mount Olympus. Now we have the potential best at On the Way parks, Kentucky Kingdom and Dollywood. And I had no competition here, had to put Lightning Rod at number 1. I really did. This coaster will be absolutely amazing. When I saw that Dollywood was doing this, I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, 1, RMC actually does this stuff. And 2, out of all parks you put Dollywood, you put one of these in Dollywood. One of the small underdog parks in one of the small states in the nation that basically accounts for lots of its tourist revenue. Other than, like, the Smoky Mountains. Number 2 and number 3 I was really debating between, but I put Storm Runner at Storm Chaser at number 2. I keep wanting to think of Storm Runner, my 5th favorite coaster ever. Well, at least 2015. And Storm Chaser, I hear a lot of crap about this because it's the weakest RMC in existence. I want to compare this one to Goliath. I mean, Goliath at Great America is, in my opinion, the weakest RMC. It was built on a very narrow plot of land, very small plot of land, and they did what they could with the land, but didn't really perform. It really did. Number 3 is Lightning Run, which is the Chance Morgan Hyper GTX that really should be placed at other parks. Like, should be built at other parks. This thing is such a wild ride, I've heard. And it's going to be really enjoyable. It's definitely going to be the highlight attraction, if not Storm Chaser, at Kentucky Kingdom. Number 4 is Wild Eagle and Thunderhead. The first B&M wing coaster in North America, and an excellent GCI with the only station flyby. And this is going to be an excellent GCI. I've ridden a few GCIs before. My favorite is Lightning Run, or Lightning Racer, sorry. Lightning Racer, followed by American Thunder, and then Roar at Six Flags America, and then Wildcat at Hershey Park. That was my chair. But both of these are going to be amazing coasters. I feel like I'll put Wild Eagle above it, but I really don't know at this point. I really don't. And the potential worst coasters on the way. Number 1 had to go to T3, a Vekoma SLC. And this one is blood red, just like how the inside of your head will be filled with after this ride is going to be done with you. It's just, it trashes you. It really does. This is it's a Vekoma SLC. How can you just not hate this coaster? And number 2 is Thunder Run. It's a wooden coaster. I really have no idea how this one's going to perform. I haven't heard anything really about Thunder Run. It's just a wooden coaster. I don't know if I'm going to like it. I don't know if I'm going to hate it. But something tells me I'm not going to like this one as much as other wooden coasters. And then number 3 is Mystery Mine at Dollywood, a Gerstlauer Eurofighter. It's really, I don't think this one's going to make as strong as an impression on me as Daredevil Dive at Six Flags Over Georgia. And this one is the bulky Gerstlauer over-the-shoulder restraints. It's going to kind of take away from the ride, but the theme is going to be excellent. I mean, I had to put one from Dollywood on here, and I feel like it just had to be Mystery Mine. If not, because I don't count Blazing Fury. I don't count Blazing Fury as a coaster. I don't. And then, I got some good news. If I go to Carowinds, BGT, one of the floater parks, and one of the on-the-way parks, it will earn me anywhere from 25 to 28 coaster credits. 25 being if I go to Carowinds, BGT, Holiday World or Mount Olympus, and Kentucky Kingdom. That will earn me the minimum. But the maximum will be if I go to Carowinds, BGT, Cedar Point, and Dollywood. That will earn me 28 credits. And that will give me 100 coaster credits. And I will do a top 100, maybe plus a few, because it's going to go slightly over. Top 100 coasters Bonanza. You're going to see all my opinions on the coasters. And yes, here's my definition of coaster credit. I'm counting only the ones that I remember the experience and actually went on that was not a kiddie coaster. It was a full-blown coaster, or it was a full-blown coaster. So not like Little Dipper or Great Pumpkin Coaster. I'm also not counting deceased rides. I do count them as credits, but I don't count them as live credits. And I'm thinking about bringing back Poltergeist as one of them, because I'm really on the fence, because Poltergeist is currently in my list of things I do not remember, because if I ride it again, I'll have a completely different opinion than what I did the first time. But I'm thinking about placing it 1 spot or 2 spots over Flight of Fear, which means it'll be in my top 20. And that's pretty strong, because it has no mid-course brake run, unlike Flight of Fear. And I really hope that I could be able to. There'll be a lot of work, but you can see all my opinions on all the coasters. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be really cool. It's probably going to spark a lot of controversy, lots of disagreements, but you know what? It's my opinion. You're probably not going to see this for another 10 or 11 months, so that's the way it goes. Probably not going to see this until late August or early September of 2016. And I'm probably going to break it up into, I don't know, anywhere between 4 to 10 parts. It depends on how in depth I want to go with each of these coasters. But yeah, that has been my in reflection of 2015 finale. I'm really considering doing other things, like reviews, maybe even fights, comparing coasters to one another. And I really think that this is going to be, I almost fell out of my chair. I really want to do other things involving coasters. I like this passion. Also, I want to ask this again. If you stayed this long, good for you. I want to ask a question. 1 week from this Saturday, I'm going to Fright Fest at Great America, and I'm most likely going to be staying for quite a while. And I want to hear from you guys. If you even listen to me, if you want to see some footage from it. I know if I do, I'm probably not gonna get them out because my family's gonna pester me because I'm not getting credits or not getting because they want to move along when I'm capturing film. But you know what? I want to capture this, and I can't go alone. And yeah, it's just this has been my In Reflection at 2015 finale. What's to come? And as always, boys, and as always, guys, I just want to say, peace.